Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on. So the plot of The Exorcist Believer is these two young girls become possessed, and both of these girls' parents basically have to figure out a way to help out their kids and get the demon out of them. So I went to see The Exorcist Believer last night. This is a film I was pretty excited for because I'd seen the trailers and I thought that they looked pretty good. So I kept my hopes up about the film. Now, just a few days before the film's release, I had seen that the film was getting quite a negative response. But nonetheless, I remained hopeful that this film would be good, and it'd be better than whatever I was saying about it. So I went to see the film there last night, and I am so sorry to say that, yeah, unfortunately the reviewers were right. This is not a very good film. Okay, I'll start off by giving it this. The cinematography is actually very good. I think the movie is shot very well, and I'm not gonna lie, there's actually some really good shots in the movie. The one example I can think of is the scene where Catherine is walking up through the church. I will admit that the cinematography in that scene, that big shot of the church, everything, it is genuinely really good. The editing in the film wasn't too bad either. I think the way that all the shots cut to each other, it was done pretty well. Then there's the pace in this film. Now, this film is an hour and 51 minutes. It's kind of about an average enough length. So it is 20 minutes shorter than the original. I don't really mind that too much. I don't necessarily think the film did a terrible job with its pacing, but I don't think it was particularly anything that great either. I don't know. I feel like the film could have done a bit better, in terms of pacing with its scenes, because I know there was just a lot of scenes in the film that had me pretty bored, and I just kind of think that the film could have done a better job at making me care a bit more about what was going on and stuff. So the pace wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. The sound and music in this film, especially when compared to the original film, is really not that great. I feel at times the film, the score in it was like, at times it was just very uplifting, and I don't think it really worked, honestly. I mean, say what you want about David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, but I mean, at the very least, those films, in spite of their flaws, they did at the very least have very good. They did have very good scores, and I'll admit the music in those movies was actually really good. I will give them that. But here the music was just very bland, like, especially compared to the original film, which had such like very famous, very creepy score. They do play the iconic theme tune from the original film in the movie, but not until like the credits. For most like there are some times where the music tries to be a bit like creepy and stuff, but it kind of just fails at it. And for the most part, the music is just very uplifting and stuff, and I just didn't think it worked, honestly. Like, it just kind of took a lot of the darkness out of it, so yeah, the music in this film wasn't that great. Something else I should acknowledge is the visual effects. Now, there wasn't like a constant use of visual effects throughout the movie, but there was like a bit of use of them, especially in the third act, and I'm not gonna lie, the visual effects actually looked pretty bad. Like, I mean, even like the possessed girls' faces, I mean, from the trailers they did make them look very scary, but in the actual film they just came across as being very laughable. And they're just very poor and they're not good to look at. Yeah, the visual effects of this film were honestly quite poor. Then we have the characters. First off, we have the main character and his daughter. I'll be honest. I thought like the film did definitely go a bit like in depth for their characters, I'll admit, but I don't know if it was really enough to make me care too much. Like, I mean, the film didn't do a very bad job at it, but I just thought it could have been better. And like, there's even a revelation in the third act about the father and everything and stuff. And I just thought, it could have been a lot better, honestly, the way they executed and stuff. It wasn't necessarily bad or anything, but they just could have done a much better job with it, I felt. We also have the other family as well. The parents, Tony and Miranda, and their daughter, Catherine. And, I'm not gonna lie, the film did a very poor job with those characters. Like, I mean, the film hardly focused on them. I mean, it focused a good bit on Victor, the main dad, and his daughter. But like, I mean, the film, it hardly like ever, it hardly focuses on the other family, aside from when Catherine gets possessed, and like it doesn't do enough to really make me care. And like not to mention, I found Miranda and especially Tony to be they were quite irritating characters, alright. Yeah, I thought the film did a poor job with them. Um, Anne Dowd is in this film as well as this nurse. And I mean, I thought Anne Dowd did fine enough in the role, but even then, I felt like the film could have given her much better. They could have made her character. Her character wasn't terrible, but I felt like they could have done something a lot more interesting with her character. She's still just fine enough, but they just could have done a lot more with her. And then we have the legacy character in this movie, Chris MacNeil, played once again by a now over 90-year-old Ellen Burstyn. Now, if you've seen the trailer for this movie, you may know that they portray it as if she's coming back and she's gonna be this very huge important character and stuff. Oh boy, this film did such a poor job with Chris. I mean, she was hardly even in the film. She was just there for a glorified cameo. And that's it. They just ended up putting her to absolute waste. Yeah, so if you're going into the movie and you're excited to see Ellen Burstyn play Chris again, my goodness, you are gonna be left down. So yeah, the characters in this film were not very good. The performances from the cast were at best solid enough, but the film could have done a much better job with these characters. Then there's the plot of the film. The plot of the film doesn't sound too bad on paper with how it's essentially it's two girls get possessed this time, and it's yeah, and it doesn't, and there's these new character stuff. It doesn't sound too bad on paper, but the execution was very poor. The characters, I just didn't care really that much about what was going on and everything. This film just really felt at times just a rehash of the original film. It did a really poor job with everything. It made me care about the characters and what was going on, and it wasn't scary, at all. I did not find anything in this film scary. If anything, I actually found this movie funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some scenes during this movie where I was actually just laughing. It's even that scene with the body and the blood. Although I did say the cinematography was good, the scene itself, with the visual effects, everything, it just made me laugh. It tried to have ties to the original film and everything, but say what you want about David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, at the very least, those movies they tried to, they went all out with tying to the original movie and stuff, but well, at least the first two did anyways, but like this movie, I mean, it has like, so it briefly tried to like tie in with the original film, and it just ended up failing dramatically. So yeah, while the plot didn't sound too bad on paper, the execution was very poor. And then we have the narrative structure, and oh boy, like the film focused, I feel like it focused on Victor and, you know, his daughter and everything, but the film hardly ever, the film didn't focus on the other family that much, like, up until Catherine gets possessed. Like, it just does, like, such a poor job with the other family, which made me just not care at all. And they tried to have a subplot in this with Chris and everything, but, like, again, it just failed so much. And it was made even worse by the fact that Chris was really just in this film for a glorified cameo and nothing else. So yeah, overall, The Exorcist Believer was a bad movie. Yeah, this was not a good film. While the plot didn't sound too bad, it did a very poor job with making me care. Having it be tied to the original film was utterly pointless. They wasted Ellen Burstyn's return as Chris. Not to mention the film it fails at being scary. I was laughing during this film rather than being scared. This movie was just funny. In terms of plot, it just ended up failing so much. The film did have good cinematography, I'll admit, but I mean, outside of that, the film, the plot was just so bad. It didn't make me care. It didn't make me feel scared. And even the music in this film wasn't very good. So yeah, this film fails dramatically at living up to the original, and I don't have my hopes up too high for the 2 sequels that are planning to be made. So, with that, I am going to give The Exorcist Believer a 3 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.